Welcome to a new episode. Again, this is remembering, thinking, exploring, try to make sense of it. So, thank you for listening. So, because this process is all about remembering who I am and reconnecting with who I am, I just dug one of my old journals that is about beginning February 2018, which was at the end of a very heavy period and the beginning, even though I could not see at the time, of an evolution for me and my processing. And so I flicked through the pages, and there was so much pain that I could still recall now and experience on myself about all the pain that I felt at the time. And the time I lost a job, I remember the engine of my car decided to blow up in November 2017. I broke up with the partner that I had, which is one of those confluences and coincidences of just basically crap. And still I can see from February there was this eagerness to be better. And it feels that I was circling around the center of myself, but in very, very wide circles. Right now, it feels that I'm getting closer and closer, and things becomes clearer and clearer the more I refine and define and sift through the recesses of me. And I think that to me words are important. So for me, understanding or discovering the words like a psychogeographer made sense and defined me, or being able to use the right word to define a feeling that I have. Is it just anger? Is it fear? Is it frustration? Is it demotivation? Is it disillusionment? Because I think that words have got the perfect vibration, and if I find the right word to define a vibration that I have, I can then work in order to change that vibration. If it is anger, is one thing. If it is frustration, it's something else. If it is disillusionment, it's something else. Is it hope? Is it trust? What is it that I need to work on? Anyway, back on track to February 2018. And I've been thinking about the progression that I was doing in 2018. I was using a lot of affirmations and visualizations, and I was watching motivational videos on Abraham Hicks and the Law of Attraction. And then I ended up writing Rebel Therapy. Because of writing Rebel Therapy, I went then to Blackburn College and I did my 2 years part-time foundation. Actually, it was almost 2 years full-time foundation in art and design. And then I wrote 1,000 Names, which is a book I am mostly unknown about, that I'm extremely fond of. And then that led me to go to do my BA in Fine Art at York St. John, which I did in 2 years, and I've just finished. And then as my final piece for the final degree show, my piece, even though in visual art, was a written and spoken piece. And now I'm back to York St. John to do my Master's by Research. And I'm thinking everything started because I was using visualizations and affirmations and the Law of Attractions and Abraham Hicks, and I reread the whole of my Celestine Prophecy books, the whole set. And I read more of Dan Millman, and I read Elizabeth Gilbert, Big Magic. And I was doing, at the time, again, visualizations, tarot cards. I was trying to work with energy. I was connecting with Source. And only when I connect with Source, I realized that I actually achieved something. So the big questions that I have now is, why do I lose all of this at times? Why do I get so frustrated and so impatient and so full of expectation, and these things actually don't happen now. So I have sort of like stolen and copied some of the things from my journal from 2018 when I was working with a coach who was kind enough to give me 2 free whole sessions, which really changed my life. And I remember that at the time I was writing, what is it that I like about being a therapist? And now I realize that actually I wasn't really liking being a therapist. Don't get me wrong, I love my job and I love working with clients. But my aim in life is to be a researcher and a writer and a lecturer and giving talks about my discoveries. So what is it that I really like? Is it because it is searching, isn't it? It is adventure, it is discovering, it is uncovering, it is, I don't know, rummaging in libraries and the silence, this hush of paper. It is this kind of like flow that I get into when I'm doing that kind of work. It is synchronicities, it is connection, it is awe and wonder for everything that actually seems that actually is flowing through me, and it's not actually me doing it, isn't it? It's something greater than me. I'm connecting with something that is greater than me, and it is this kind of sense of freedom and, of course, traveling and moving, and sort of like a constant, what I call it, constant holiday mode, holiday mode and holiday mood. And it is inspiration and expanding. It is an intense, deep sense of bliss. And I think that this is something that I need to remind myself, this constant state of bliss when I'm doing the things that I really like. Like this morning, I spent about 3 hours, if not 4, sitting here in my living room, flicking through a journal, updating, writing, taking down notes, having my candles lit, having a nice couple of cups of coffees. It just sounds complicated things to say. But this is what makes me happy. This is where I find a state of bliss. And it doesn't matter if I haven't got, enough money or the weather outside is grim and I'm not going to travel a lot or anything. It's just that my heart expands. And yesterday I was at RHS Bridgewater near Manchester, and I spent the whole afternoon there. I spent about 4 hours, and it was just, again, bliss. I was immersed in colours and the smells of the flowers, and it was just amazing. And there is this hidden tiny little place where you're not supposed to be, but I was there anyway, and it was just great. It was just a sense of perfection. So life can be good. Life can be good if we're making it good. So I know that this podcast is more for me than anybody else. But anyway, if you are just passing by, thank you for listening. So this is it. 1 episode's done. Now more journaling, more thinking, more walking outdoors and elucubrating, which is always a good verb to use. So if you want to know more about me, you will be able to find me on Instagram, and you are able also to find me on my website, which is www.matildatomat.com. Okay, see you around. Bye.